then everybody can see it when you don't go to the grocery store. You can Jackie, did you see my shirt? Yes.
Sat next to you when you beat him.
Yes,
Wait,
yes. Me and Colin and Hope have all seen the fucking shirt.
Woody doesn't go to the grocery store?
No,
These guys aren't grocery store boys.
I haven't been to the grocery store in a stage. I get Instacart. I have like an Instacart credit card, so like after a while, I get points, and it doesn't make sense to go. You know, you're the minimum order is $10, and they deliver it for free, basically. And you know, it's like I always order my groceries. I just get a big order every week, every 10 days.
I bet you're paying more for the items, though, right?
Yeah.
Some stores have in-store pricing on there, so you pay the exact same amount. So I'm pretty careful with it. I enjoy working the system and finding deals on there. Mm-hmm. So there's been times where I've taken screenshots of my shopping list and almost sent it to you guys and been like, guess how much this was? Because I'm so proud of like, I'll have like 8 steaks and like, I'll have what looks like $200 worth of groceries and it'll be like $80. Especially with Aldi. I've been using Aldi on Instacart and it'll be
Aldi's
like
pretty good.
30% off of $100 just off the top. And I'm already saving like a ton of money.
Aldi the name of a supermarket?
Yeah. They have like good meat and vegetables there, but they're like, their whole model is like
bare bones.
Bare bones, like essentials. Like you can go there, anything you want to cook. Like it's a great place to go if you're cooking at home. But it doesn't have all those nonsense aisles you get at regular grocery stores. And so if anything, it's better because I would have a hard time impulse buying snacks at Aldi. Whereas if I go to like a normal grocery store, there's a million aisles full of nonsense that I'm going to end up walking through and get something I shouldn't be eating.
Aldi's closer to like a vegetable market sometimes. Like when you go in there, everything's kind of just on the floor and against the wall and stuff. You got to put a quarter
on the floor.
Your
Aldi sucks.
Yeah,
I have a closet like that.
Well, it's a dirt floor in there, so it's not a big deal. And you got to put a quarter in the cart.
Do they push it up against the sides like I do?
Yeah. You know what I see online? Those assholes who 3D print a thing so they don't have to pay the quarter to get the cart at Aldi. And I got to say, I hate that so much. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Put your cart back.
You get the quarter back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably just loaning a quarter for the cart.
Mm-hmm. It's basically they're keeping people from stealing their carts.
Wait, they give you the quarter back even?
Yeah, you plug the quarter in and then it unlocks the cart and then you push your cart around and then when you push the cart back into the slot,
then you get your quarter back.
It pops the quarter out and then go to your...
So then who gives a shit? If you get you the quarter back, who gives a shit?
They're basically saying if you put your cart away rather than me hiring someone to put your cart away, you can have your quarter back.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Right. And it seems to work. I never see any carts.
Well, see, those people have those things, so they just plug it in there and then they leave their cart wherever because you're not getting a quarter back.
Well, I hate that. Put your fucking cart back. You should put your cart back even if there's not a quarter to be returned to you.
Yes. I know a guy who makes
everybody put your cart
subways.
It does what for the subways?
You got a slug guy
for the subways.
I don't know what that means.
A slug is the name of a fake quarter.
Yeah.
It's a Kramer quote. He's like, I know a guy get you slugs for the subways.
Just like a hard piece of iron.
They're coin-shaped chunks of metal that are made to get things that quarters normally buy. They come from a time where a quarter was a little bit of money.
I used to find them all the time when I was a kid. I'd find them because for some reason when I was a kid, I'd look for change. I don't know if every kid did this, but I always did. I'd look for change like in the fucking arcades or like on the curb or whatever. And you would find these things, but they would look like quarters, but they were blank. That's all they were. So they were just literally just a cylinder, or I guess a circle of metal and a disc. Yeah, you could supposedly use them for anything. They never worked. They never worked at the arcade. They never worked when I needed them to work. Like if I go to the grocery store and go to those little get those like little plastic toys from a dispenser, you drop them in that. They never worked. But I would find them and be like, oh, cool. Like, it's great. Like, I don't have to spend any money or whatever. And it didn't.
I think of the candy machines that have that wind up thing. You put your quarter in and then you crunk. Yeah. I think in those, they make slugs that you retrieve back. I think there's a way to put your coin in there, get your candy, and then yoink, take it back.
That's what I was saying is that because I thought when you were talking about Aldi, I thought you were talking about people would just tie a string to a quarter and then put it into the arcade and then just pull it out and then use it again and pull it out and use it like over and over and over.
Homer does that at work.
Oh yeah.
The vending machine.
Yeah, where he's like putting it in. He's like,
That's right.
yoink! Getting his quarterback robbing Mr. Burns.
We also heard. I don't know if you guys remember if you took $1 and supposedly tore it in exactly the right spot and just put a tiny little tear in there. If you put $1 in, the machine would take it, give you the credit, and then spit the $1 back out.
I never heard this one.
I could never get it to work, but it was one of those things that I had always heard. If you tore it just a little bit, the machine would take it, give you credit, and then be like, "Oh wait,
I'm sure this predates that, but it sounds like the making of a viral TikTok video. Like, guys, I have a life hack.
Watch this, and they use a special pin. Like, yeah. We didn't do that, but I would rob the candy machines at work. I would do that. I mentioned a couple weeks ago about robbing the soda machine. I would also rob the candy machines. I would take those too. Yeah.
How do you rob them?
Well, the back plate is just this thin piece of sheet metal, and if you prise it away a little bit, then the coins just sort of fall out the back. Oh. So what I did was, when nobody was looking, I prized it out a little bit, and then I would just throughout the day walk by and act like I was getting some candy and just shake the shit out of the machine, and like $1 fall out. And I'd be like, look at that, $1 fell out. I'm like, huh, weird. And I'd just walk away with my $1. And I just repeated that process until I took all the money out of the candy machine.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
It was, I remember there was one, also there's another thing too. When you were a kid, these were like TikTok hacks, but when I was 12 or whatever, in the late, or I guess the early 90s, you supposedly, if you pressed the right combination of buttons on a soda machine, it would give you a free soda. And I remember this happened to me once and only once. They were like, if you press all the buttons, like all the way down, starting at the top, go all the way down, and then press 2 of them at the same time, it would spit out a soda for free. And I was like, I've tried on everything. I tried on all that, and even never worked. And then one day I tried the combination, pressed it at the same time, and a soda came out. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it blew my mind. And I tried it for 3 more years after that. Could never get it to work, but it only worked the one time. And I was like, now that I think back, I'm like, somebody probably put in the money and then left. That's probably what it was.
I think they do have like a VIP mode. And the idea is like, you have it in a place where maybe the boss gets free sodas, but everybody else has to pay, or maybe where like the employees would have a code. And so that can be put in like a mode where there is a button code to press to get free soda.
Okay. That makes way more sense. Yeah. Okay.
But I've never known it to be a thing though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've never been anywhere where they gave us free soda. Even at work, they charge us for fucking soda.
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah. No, this was, I think I just tried it once at like, I don't think it was my high school. I think it was like some random school I was at that wasn't the school I went to. And it worked. And I was like,
I watched Moneyball the other day, and I can't remember who they traded for. They got some new player to come to Oakland, and he's like, "There's no free soda in the locker rooms." Like, I get paid $6 million a year, and I got to pay you $1 for every Pepsi. It's like, yeah, Oakland's a different kind of team. And then I heard
David Justice, maybe.
It was David Justice, former Atlanta catcher. He'd made the rounds. He'd been in Baltimore, I think, for a while. His knees were gone. It was David Justice. Yeah, he was one of the more high paid players on their whole roster, I think. Probably 6.
They didn't pay it though, right?
Why didn't they pay it?
Oh, because the way the trade worked.
The New York
the numbers,
was paying
like
half
the other team was paying like 2/3 of his salary, and Oakland got him by paying the remaining third. And and there was a big thing. Brad Pitt's character was like, they're paying 2/3 of your salary for you to leave the team. That's what they think of you.
Yeah.
Let's just be straight here with each other and honest. You're really here to teach the other players how to be winners. Something like that. That
was a good scene with Brad Pitt and the David Justice character. Yeah. Because that was the situation. New York, I think it needed probably roster space. They can only have so many players, so they paid him to leave or pay part of his contract off to get him out. But yeah, they didn't have free soda.